Welcome to lesson 5 of our anger management facilitator training. I am Desiree Cochran-Norfolk. In this session, we are going to explore how to assess participant progress, evaluate program effectiveness, and demonstrate accountability to courts, probation, and other referral sources. Assessment and evaluation are kind of our proof points of our work, so they show whether your program is truly making a difference. Assessment is more than just paperwork. It's how we know whether participants are actually learning and applying skills. So evaluating progress is going to ensure accountability, and it's going to show referral sources that your program isn't just a class, but it's an intervention that produces measurable results. And at the same time, assessments are going to give facilitators valuable insight. What's working well? Where are the participants struggling? Which parts of the curriculum may need to be adjusted, and so on. And there's a lot of different ways to measure that progress. Self-reports are going to help the participants reflect on their triggers and their skills. Facilitator observations capture how they apply the strategies in role plays and discussions. Formal instruments such as anger inventories, they're going to provide the structured evidence-based data. And we don't want to overlook basic documentation. Attendance, homework, incident reports, they're all part of painting a complete picture of growth and accountability. And as a facilitator, you're tracking subtle changes. Progress shows up in consistency. Participants who once skipped sessions begin showing up more reliably. And also shows in language shifts, like moving from blaming others to using I statements. So we want to watch for increased willingness to role play and share personal examples. Even reduced disruptions, like fewer interruptions or less defensiveness, are meaningful signs of growth. So these micro changes add up to measurable progress. And not every participant is going to progress smoothly. So some behaviors serve as red flags. And these are signals that someone may be stuck or resistant or not benefiting from the program. And when participants deny having an anger problem or refuse to take responsibility or consistently avoid practice, it's a warning sign. Escalating hostility is another red flag. We want to document these very carefully and consider whether the client needs additional interventions, including counseling or maybe a reassessment of treatment level. And documentation is more than just a compliance task. It's part of evaluation. Accurate attendance logs are going to be critical for courts and probations. Group notes are going to be important and should kind of summarize the topic that we covered and how the participant engaged in that. Progress summaries are going to highlight the strengths and the client's growth alongside areas that may need work. And when incidents occur, write objectively timely reports. These are going to provide both accountability and legal protection. So notice how these examples are specific and behavior focused. They're not labeling the client as difficult or resistant. Instead, they're describing what was observed and how the client responded. So for instance, required redirection twice during role play, accepted feedback and completed practice shows both the challenge and the progress. Courts and probation officers value objective behavior-based notes. They can clearly see evidence of growth or lack thereof. So I might say client identified 3 personal triggers and shared them in group discussion. Required redirection twice during role play, accepted feedback, and completed practice. Demonstrated ability to use a timeout script with prompts. Did not complete assigned homework, will be asked to reattempt. Strong programs are going to include structured evaluations at the beginning, the middle, and the end. So at the start, establish a baseline. What are the client's triggers? What are their current coping strategies? What are their self-rated controls? And then midway through, check progress. What are their barriers? And then at the end, we want to conduct a post-program assessment. Retake the inventory, evaluate their role play performance, summarize their growth in a final report. Adding a self-reflection piece is going to let the participants articulate their own learning, and it's going to often reveal deeper insights. And your evaluations are ultimately going to feed into reports. So at the individual level, these are going to go to probation officers, courts, employers, whoever. At the program level, the aggregate data shows your agency what's working and what needs to be adjusted. So when reporting, highlight both the successes and the ongoing challenges. Honesty is going to build credibility. And avoid clinical jargon. Referral sources need clear, plain language. So for example, instead of writing exhibited oppositional tendencies, say argued with facilitator, facilitator redirected, and client completed the task. And as a facilitator, your role in evaluation is to observe and record, not to judge personality or make a diagnosis. Keep your focus on behaviors and skills. We want to encourage the clients to do self-assessment alongside your observation, and that's going to increase the ownership of the change. So when we give feedback, tie it directly back to the skills. Hey, you used an I statement successfully in that role play. And then remember, if you're ever unsure about how to evaluate a participant, supervision or peer consultation is going to help maintain fairness and objectivity. And evaluation is not just for the participants, it's for the program itself. So if many clients stumble on the same skill, that might signal a curriculum gap or a need for more practice time. If multiple groups show the same barrier, consider adjusting your pacing or adding supplemental materials. I had this one particular skill, which was the reframe. And the way that I was explaining it to the clients, every single time I had them get to the practice part of it, they would do it completely wrong. And I was like, what is going on here? So I went back and I changed how I explain it. Made a world of difference. I have not had a single client get it wrong since I changed how I explain it. And I didn't even have to change the curriculum. I just changed how I explained it. So maybe just a small tweak in what you are doing can really help. Evaluation is going to allow for continuous quality improvement. It's going to ensure your program evolves and it remains relevant to the clients that you serve. So to summarize here, assessment measures progress and ensures accountability. Tools are going to include self-reports, facilitator observation, documentation, and structured pre or post tests. Remember, we want to watch for red flags that suggest a participant may need additional support. And then finally, evaluation isn't just about the clients, it's about strengthening the program itself so it continues to deliver meaningful change. And before you move on, I want you to take a moment to reflect. How confident are you in documenting progress clearly and objectively? Which assessment tool feels most useful in your setting? And based on this lesson, what is one thing that you might adjust in how you evaluate your participants? Reflection is going to help cement the learning and prepares you to apply it in real-world practice. So feel free to put your answers in the comment section below. Thank you for attending this training, and I hope that you get a lot out of the other videos in the other lessons.